Hi, Casey. You know me already, but in the video it says tell us a little bit about you. I am a non-traditional student, a late student. I have 5 kids. Only 2 are home now. 3 are out of the house, and I have 2 high schoolers still that are home. I've been a CNA for almost 2 years. I got my CNA license so that I could go back to school and become a nurse. I wanted to make sure that I liked healthcare, even though I knew I would. And I do. I work float pool at McKay in Layton, and I love it. And so I also am doing my nurse apprenticeship for my capstone with float pool at McKay, and I'm super excited about that. I'll start that at the end of January. One new thing I learned by reading the syllabus and also from watching your course orientation video was, in the past, any late assignments are an automatic 0, and I was glad to hear that we can have one extension on one assignment as long as we email you the night before it's due, which I think is so awesome because most of us don't really know what our capstone schedule is going to be like yet. And that does, I don't know, it can bring on some anxiety not knowing what our schedule is going to look like with our capstone or nurse apprenticeship and when assignments are going to be due. And so I like knowing that if there's one assignment that I'm working on but don't get done in time, that I can have an extension for a week to do that. I really like that. Also, I didn't know that from reading the syllabus that we're going to talk about mental health and coping, which I think is really interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. 3 things I learned from watching the NCLEX overview video, which I thought was more interesting than I thought it would be, is that the questions are based on our ability. And then if you answer questions at a high level, they'll continue to give you higher level questions. And if you answer questions at a lower level, you'll get lower level questions. And so it was interesting to see how the computer does that and how they base those questions and kind of how it showed on the graph with kind of the standard that you have to be at and how the, if it seems like your questions are getting harder, that probably is a good thing because that means you're doing well and they're giving you harder questions. So that was kind of good to know. Because sometimes I feel like I've taken some predictor exams and they feel so hard and it's really discouraging. And I feel like, oh, I'm never going to be a good nurse because these are hard. But now it's good to understand that like harder questions mean that you're doing well and they want to give you harder questions. And then just how they explain the 3 ways that it will end. Either you answer enough questions to show that you're above the standard and you've passed, or you've answered enough questions poorly that you're below the standard and you failed, or just that you've run out of time. Those are the 3 ways that the test ends. So I like that. And I also like that it says not to stress if you get extra questions. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing bad, but they're still trying to determine your level. And they can't maybe determine that within those 60 questions. So I thought that was really interesting. And then let's see, 3 things I learned by watching the ATI videos. I actually thought those were kind of interesting, how it explained all the different types of questions and gave you answers. One thing I wish is that you could speed that up. I hate watching videos at regular speed. I wish you could speed those videos up. But it was interesting, and I tried to use those as a review as they went through all the questions and the answers to see, like, could I get all these correct? Could I get these questions correct on my own before they gave the answers? And it was kind of encouraging because I felt like I could. But I think it would, by watching those, it helped me just reminder to be more careful as I read each question and understand exactly what they're looking for and how to be careful in giving my answers. But that was a good review. And let's see. What am I going to do as a student to ensure my success in this class? Is honestly just try and either stay caught up or even get ahead as much as I can in the things that I need to do. I like that some of the things I can do ahead of time and I like that, that I can work ahead if I need to. That's one nice thing about being online is I don't have to necessarily I don't think so. I don't necessarily have to stay with everything each week, that I could work a little bit ahead and get ahead on some of those things, which is nice, especially not knowing what our schedule is going to be like. But I'm hoping to stay ahead and do well in the class, and I'm glad that we have you as a teacher, Casey, and I'll make sure to reach out if I have any questions or need help. Thanks.